Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
It's On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket. Still no Bach. We got the Strick part down, but we don't have the Bach part quite yet. He will be back tomorrow, I promise. You're only stuck with me for one more day. Nate Dogg, as the Hall of Famer would call me, checking in. Last day. That's Strick. We're counting on you to reel it back in. The last show that we just had was a bit chaotic, but that's why we come to you, the expertise to steer us right in the correct direction.
Well, I'll try, man. I mean, I just love talking sports. I love, what we're doing here on 93.7 The Ticket. I love the fans that are tuning in and the listeners that are listening in. It's just great, man. It's great to be able to tap in, and I can't wait actually to be in studio tomorrow. Looking forward to it, especially on the wonderful day we call what? Thirsty Thursday.
That's right. Kevin Meyer will be here. Now you don't have to do it virtual. You can actually be in studio for one.
This time I get to test the beer because normally I'll just have to pull out some wine I purchase at the store or whatever the case may be. I don't normally get all the wonderful beers that he gets to bring in. I don't get to taste those. So this time in studio tomorrow, E-Strick will be there to taste the brew.
Hey, now are you a beer guy? That's the real question.
I'm really not, but if I do drink beer, I like to drink like more imports. You know what I mean? Modelo's, Corona, Stripe, different beers like that. Not so much Heineken anymore, but I'll taste a good beer. But the way that they make their beers, I mean they make them tasty. It tastes like citrus and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's a good opportunity for me to tap.
See, that's just way different than me. I guess I'm too soon removed from college. I graduated college about 1.5 years ago, so I'm a big beer guy, and I'll drink basically whatever kind of beer you give me. So that might be why we're a bit different in that. But I'm starting to get on the wine. Kevin Meyer knows what he's doing. He brings us all the good wine.
Oh yeah.
That is for sure. But want to make sure we get right into it. You can go ahead and text us 402-464-5685. We got a
good segment. Good segment. Yeah, yes. Good segment.
We got a packed show. Evan Bland's going to join us at 4:25 from the Omaha World Herald. Talk some Huskers football, maybe even some Huskers hoops. Who knows? We'll have Shootout with Strick. Hitting the Hardwood will be all around the NBA. We'll talk about some college football too. Heisman watch, top 10 quarterbacks. We got a packed show. But starting out, we are going to be talking about Huskers in the draft. Tomorrow is the NFL draft. Looks like for the first time in a while. I have it pulled up. We can go through a little bit of this specifics when the time comes. But for the first time in a while, it looks like the Huskers are going to have 4 locks in the NFL draft. A couple other players, maybe like Damian Daniels, Samari Toure, kind of fringe guys could possibly get drafted. But it looks like we'll have 4 locks. So, Strick, I'll ask you. The last time 4 players were drafted in a draft from Nebraska was in 2016. So it's been 6 years since 4 players have been drafted. If you're looking at a first-round pick, I don't think we're going to have a first-round pick in this draft.
Had to be a Mukamara, right?
It was a Mukamara, correct, in 2011. So I don't think we'll have one in this draft, but I think kind of the overarching question that I have is this an indication of where the program is at, that players aren't getting drafted, that we aren't having first-round draft picks? And not only that any year that you're going to send 4 guys into the NFL draft that presumably are locks to get drafted, you still only won 3 games. So what does this mean for the direction of the program?
Well, I don't think it means there's negativity, and I think it can actually, bode well, especially if they perform well on draft day tomorrow. If they find themselves, you find a couple of them being drafted anywhere from late second, a couple in the third. That'll be good. That's something you can sell in the program. You may get a third, maybe a fifth, and some 6th, and maybe a 7th. But at the end of the day, that could still be a story you can sell. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say it's a negativity to the program. I would say that could have changed had they won some games. But those players did a wonderful job in their performance in the combine. especially Cam Taylor-Britt and Jurgen. I mean, Cam Jurgens. So those individuals perform very well. Even JoJo performed very well, and we'll dig into some of those numbers as we get into this segment. But I don't think it bodes well. I mean, I don't think it's a negativity on the program, so to speak.
Right. So I want to make sure the listeners know my four. You can agree or disagree with me, Strick, but right now I'm looking at the Journal Star, and what they have is what I was probably going to go with too. They have Jurgens, Cam Taylor-Britt, JoJo Domann, and Austin Allen as locks. So all those guys presumably are going to get drafted. I'd probably agree with that. So the question is, where do they get drafted? Because that's the interesting thing is we've seen a player like Cam Jurgens in some mock drafts go early as the second round, some as low as the fifth round. Cam Taylor-Britt, another one of those guys. I mean, he's been getting a lot of buzz lately, especially over the past couple weeks. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Some have him going in the second round, but I've also seen him going as low as the seventh. So when it's all said and done, where are you kind of at with where these guys are going to get drafted?
Well, for me, when I look at it, I can possibly see Jurgens maybe going in the third round. Okay. He performed very well in his, as I stated, in his combine. And, I think the Seahawks in their situation, when they allowed their starting center, Ethan Pocic, to leave into free agency, and then they took a look at, Austin, their backup, Austin Blythe there, and they didn't secure him on a long-term deal. And he's the replacement. So they basically secured him on a one-year deal. He's a 30-year-old free agent. And so I don't know for sure if that's something that the direction that they're looking to go. It could be a trial by fire basis. But at the end of the day, I could see Cam Jurgens maybe going to the Seahawks as high as the 72nd round. 72nd overall pick. Right. There's no 72nd round. But I mean, with his footwork, his abilities to move, they do Dickerson. They run a zone scheme. So anybody with his abilities would be solid for that scheme with his quickness, his tenacity, his ability to get downfield in the screen game. All of those things would bode well for that look. So I see a possibility there. And so during the combine, he was the fifth fastest offensive lineman in the 40-yard dash with a 4.92 40-yard dash. He weighed in at about 303 pounds. He did 25 reps in the 225-pound bench press, and he ranked 14th overall in all position groups. So that in that performance alone has put him in a great category and has kind of moved him up, especially being that he came into Nebraska in 2018 as a tight end out of
which is crazy. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And finds himself being moved to the center position to where he performed well in 3 seasons, ultimately landing him as a third team all Big Ten coaches selection. So I like the prospects of him moving into the third round potentially, but they do have him going as low as the fifth possibly.
Yeah, I think Cam Jurgens, I'd probably agree with you, maybe second, third, fourth round. The name that I really want to focus on is Cam Taylor-Britt. I know he had some talk of maybe buzz of a first-round pick the year before last. Last year maybe regressed a little bit. I don't know if that was really an indication of the team. Maybe the defense was a little bit better. Overall, like I said, when I came to Lincoln, there's something to be said for the eye test. At least I've always thought so. When I first came to Lincoln, you watch the defense. The first name that I really popped out, and the guy I was looking at the entire time was Cam Taylor-Britt. It's just the eye test. You see him on the field, and he looks like he's been there before. He looks like a football player. He's got the size. He's got the speed. And I know he had dropped in recent rounds, and lately he's been getting that buzz a little bit more. But like you said, Strick, I mean, there's something to be said for combine results, and the kid ran a 4.38. So, look, at the NFL level, as a cornerback, you got to be able to run, it sounds like, at least a 4.4 these days. He's there. He's got the size. I don't think they have him listed at 196 pounds, 5'11". I don't know. Maybe he needs to gain a few more pounds, but he's kind of there weight-wise. That's a lot of the things with cornerbacks. It's always size and speed. I think
that made him the 7th fastest cornerback and 24 overall. So I think with him, I think the highest projection that I could possibly see him is maybe around 78 in the second round to Cincinnati. That's possibly his ceiling. And but one of the things that as I was doing some research and looking at it, I mean, it looks like maybe the Lions have a need for depth at the secondary position. So that would help to address some of the issues that they have, and which would land him in the third round. He's a versatile piece that can do a lot of different things in coverage. You can put him at the corner, you can run him, I think he would be good on the sideline side, but he can also play safety. You can run him in there in some nickel packages, some quarter packages, different areas where he could be strong there as well in the slot. So I like his prospects there. He was a second team All Big Ten performer this year and last year. He received tremendous media awards. He played in a lot of games. He had 11 breakups, 1 interception, and a block kick. So that's where his versatility shows up, and that's where I like him. I mean, he could possibly be the first cornerback drafted since 2014, and that was Stanley John Baptiste, who went to the Saints in the second round. So there's some possibilities there for him to possibly land, I think, maybe in the third round, maybe 97th to the Detroit Lions.
Here, let me ask you this. So I'm looking at NFL.com right now. They have him as a prospect grade of 6.18. Not entirely sure what that means, but it comes with the description. Good backup with the potential to develop into a starter. Would you say
that's the way I see it, and that's why I think his versatility of being able to not only play corner, I wouldn't put him on the wide side to start out. That'd be a little bit too much. I think initially, with how great the receivers are these days, but definitely could see him in the slot. Could definitely see him running some safety potentially, which would give him a little bit of ability. Maybe not as good in run coverage at the time, but you can see him doing some blitzing type stuff, from the position, because he recorded a couple sacks, 2.5 sacks. So he has the ability to do a lot of different things. He's able to tackle. He's able to come up and do, but initially I wouldn't find him being able to do that. Like you said, I'd like for him to gain a little bit more pounds before I'd like to see him really handling himself in run defense.
And it's really crazy, Strick. I'm looking now at Nebraska players that went to Nebraska that ended up getting drafted. If either Juergens or Cam Taylor-Britt go in the second round, it'd be the first player since 2015. Trivia: who was that player in 2015?
Stump me.
No.
Shut up, Simple.
There were two, Amir Abdullah and Randy.
That's who I was gonna say, man.
I thought you were gonna get the Amir Abdullah.
I was gonna say Amir Abdullah, but for some reason I thought that was a little too late for him. I thought he was maybe a few years earlier, but yeah, I was gonna say Amir Abdullah.
Solid NFL player too. Let's go through the other two that it sounds like are going to be. I think Juergens and Cam Taylor-Britt are going to be the first off the board. I think they're probably Friday guys too, second or third round picks. Again, we'll see how it works. The NFL draft can be a little bit crazy, especially in those second and third rounds, because those picks are just so valuable. But then let's slide down a little bit to JoJo Domann and Austin Allen. There's a little bit more kind of a wider gap when we look at where these guys are going to go. It looks like for the rankings, for the most part, for JoJo Domann, most of them have him going 5th, 6th-ish. Looks like Austin Allen probably in that same range. If you had to grade where you think these guys would go, I'd probably say it's probably in the similar spot. Where would you say it would be?
Well, for me, first, I think JoJo would come off before Austin. I probably agree with that. I got JoJo in the 6th round. And, around the 198th pick, he spent a lot of time at Nebraska. He's developed tremendously. He came in as a safety initially, which gives him the ability to understand coverage and good footwork and all of those things. And he bulked up and made himself a tremendous asset to the Nebraska defense. He'll turn 25 before his rookie season. So there's a little bit of that in there. Yes, age, there's experience, but that is a partial hindrance as to why they would take him higher, because of, just the longevity of a potential athlete. But here's the other aspect that maybe goes against him a little bit, is that he's had injuries. He's had multiple ACL injuries. He missed part of last year, from his hand injury. So staying healthy is going to be a major thing for him, being able to stick around. He'll be good in special teams. That'll keep him on a roster for a long tenure of time. But, he had a great career. And some of the things that he does well is that he forces a lot of fumbles. He forced 9 fumbles last year. He got a couple interceptions. So I think those are things that bode well for him. But he performed well as well in the draft combine. So he could possibly go as high as 120th, 28th, maybe. Some say maybe in the 80th range, but I don't think he'd get that high just because of those issues that I labeled before. But he ran a 4.6. That's solid for a good linebacker, especially a cover linebacker, someone who can come down, maybe jam, cover tight ends, definitely running backs out of the backfield. He was the 13th fastest linebacker there, had a great vertical jump at 34.5 inches. But his role is a nickelback guy. And that's where I think a lot of his value, along with the special teams, will bode well. He's not going to be your hard-hitting linebacker. So, putting him inside in the wheel or whatever, but definitely getting him into some opportunities to be able to come up, maybe some blitz packages, and then also definitely coverage he's going to be a coverage guy. And I think that's where he's going to make his money, is being just a tremendous cover linebacker. He'll be a good third down guy. Definitely.
I want to address we got a text message. Wow, all these NFL draft picks of Nebraska players. I thought Nebraska can't develop anymore, or can't develop anyone. What I would say in response to that is how we started this up. Nebraska hasn't had 4 guys drafted in one draft class since 2016. So since Scott Frost has been here, you had one player drafted in 2017, 1 in 2018, none drafted in 2019, 2 in 2020, 2 in 2021. And going off of that, for a school like Nebraska, personally, I think you should probably have more. I mean, you look at when the black shirts were kind of running the show. I mean, you had guys all over the place getting drafted.
Yeah, upwards of 8, 10, 12
Absolutely.
guys. Definitely a couple first rounders, 2 or 3, sometimes 4, yeah.
Right, which, again, it's a different time. I understand that. But if this is the year that you're sending 4 guys into the draft, you still only won 3 games last year. So it's great that you're getting 4 guys drafted, but this isn't consistently getting 4 guys drafted. And on top of that, you only won 3 games last season with 4 guys being drafted. So I just I don't know about that. But the one interesting thing, Strick, I want to bring this up about JoJo Domann, which I thought was really interesting, is he's literally all over the place. So The Athletic has him as the 10th rated linebacker. ESPN has him ranked as the 9th best safety. And then you can look at CBS Sports. They have him as a linebacker listed at 24th. So a huge drop-off, but also have him at linebacker. Do you think what's going to hold JoJo Domann back are going to be one of his issues in the NFL draft if we do see him slip into the 3rd day, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, is that he just doesn't really have a position?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend. It's really going to depend on the need. It's going to depend on the need of what somebody feels and how long they think they can get, that play out of him, being that he is an older player. And so those are just the things that the front office people are going to have to look at. So it's going to be tough to say. That's why he's going to fall just into a wide range, because there's going to be some guys that may drop, right? That's going to be more available. That's going to find themselves on a team that maybe they didn't think would fall this far, and that could push, a guy like JoJo Domann down the board a little bit longer. But he has a potential high ceiling to get up there in that 4th round, maybe late 3rd round, if somebody loves what he brings, just because of his abilities and performance and his versatility. But he also has a low range just because of the other issues with injury and age and other things that they or fit. like you said, just not knowing where they're going to use him or where he would be the best fit for their organization. And there's where that confusion may come in and may lead them to go elsewhere.
I think you hit right on the nail on the head, because that's the problem with it. You don't really know what position he's going to be. Is someone going to reach for him? Is he going to fall in the draft? I mean, these things, especially when you get into that third day, you really just never know. And then kind of the wild card in all of this is Austin Allen. Again, I've heard some people say recently that because of his combine wasn't great, he might even slip out of the NFL draft entirely. As a 6'8", 260-pound tight end, I don't know if I buy that. I think his size and athleticism alone is going to get him drafted. But if you look across the board, I mean, he's listed as the 13th best tight end on some sites, listed as the 21st best tight end on some sites. So he's another one of those guys. I mean, you get him late in the third day. I think Austin Allen is one of those guys that if you do get him late, he's kind of one of those, maybe a steal pick. Because if you look at his size, I mean, 6'8", 260 pounds, we've seen guys that go in the first round that are smaller than that. Obviously might be a little bit more athletic, might have better hands, but I think off of size alone, you would take a shot on Austin Allen. Where are you at with Austin Allen? Because, again, huge range for him.
Well, again, he doesn't come in as a tremendous blocking tight end. So it's going to depend on the need, what type of offensive scheme that they're using. It's going to depend on their usage of the tight end position. Because he does have tremendous hand. He goes up, he peaks very well on balls. He doesn't run very well, and that's the game of the NFL, right? It's separation. It's being able to create separation. He schemed a lot into a lot of open opportunities at Nebraska, where the plays that were set was very well schemed. I think he's smart enough and he's intelligent enough to be able to read coverages and to be able to squat and sit in different positions and to be able to use the abilities he has with his hands, his reach, and his abilities to do those type of things. He would be very good playing against zone coverage teams, but very, very tough at this point. I don't know if he's a great route runner at the tight end position to be able to create the kind of separation needed, especially at the next level. And I think that's why a fall maybe around the 280 to 300 range would be a good place to take a chance at somebody with that type of height. And then you can work on those other areas, because he does have a skill set that works well and shows capability of being able to get in the seams and do all of those things that helps a quarterback in different situations.
Right. It'll be interesting too. It's very fascinating, because at the end of the day, some of these guys can be drafted, like we said, in the second, or you might see them slip. So a huge wide range for the Huskers. And also, I want to make sure that we talk to Evan Bland. We're going to get him on here in a second. See, maybe there's some wild cards, maybe a Samori Toure, a Damian Daniels, maybe guys that slipped their name in there. Also, I want to address we got a text that said Peyton Stewart. So you're saying JoJo Domann can do too many things well. Do you know who will draft in the Patriots? That is a very Patriots draft pick. I think I'm with you with that one, Peyton Stewart. I would not be surprised to see him go to a team like the Patriots. But like we said, Evan Bland will join us next. We'll talk about all Huskers in the draft, maybe some wild cards, maybe some of these guys will get drafted. Also, we might talk some recruiting. Looks like O'Shawn Mathis trying to get some love from the hashtag GBR Go Big Red. Does that mean that he might be coming to Nebraska? We'll find out next. You listen to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock, or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's Favorites.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Winds will still be rather breezy today from the south, gusting over 25, but we should top out near 80 with increasing cloud cover this afternoon. We'll see a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms late tonight towards tomorrow morning, a low 58. That lingering chance of showers and storms tomorrow, cooler with a high of 72. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
Junior, hurry it up in there. Honey, he's doing it again.
Doing what again?
Practicing for American Idol in the shower. I need in there.
Well, MemberZone is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We could use the value of the house too.
Add a second bathroom? Say no more.
From adding another shower to all of life's in-betweens, you're headed in the right direction with a MemberZone home equity line of credit. Learn more at memberzonecu.org. Restrictions may apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Husker fans, continue to support the Nebraska softball team during Fan Appreciation Weekend, May 6th through the 8th. The team hosts Indiana in a 3-game series with giveaways each day. On Friday, the first 500 fans receive a water bottle. Come out Saturday and be one of the first 500 fans to receive a blanket. And on Sunday, if you're one of the first 500 fans, you'll get a pint glass. Saturday's game is also Senior Day and is free admission for everyone. For more information, visit Huskers.com. Get your single game tickets now at Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You listen to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket. Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. We want to hear your thoughts today. NFL draft tomorrow. O'Shawn Mathis revealing where he will be going to school here in the next few days as well. Lots of things happening for Nebraska football for April 27th, more than we usually have. So that's why we go to the experts, and Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald, joining us right now. Now, Evan, the first question I have for you, I don't want to get too much into this debate because it caused a little bit of chaos on the text line, but do you like leftovers or food fresh more?
Well, I mean, given the choice, I'll take the fresh food, but I am pro leftovers. I had a roommate in college once who hated leftovers, and so he would bring home, whatever was left from a meal and said, "Yeah, I just can't do it." I mean, those are the best situations ever, because give me leftovers all day. Obviously, given the choice, I'll take something fresh. But I have nothing against that at all.
I love it. I don't know why that became such controversy on the text line, but it was chaos. I can't even begin with you. But want to jump right into it. Strick and I were just talking about the NFL draft when it comes to the Huskers. We came up with four guys that we think are locks to be drafted. Where are you at with Huskers in the draft for starting tomorrow? And then are there any wild card guys that think maybe could slip there in the later rounds?
Well, I think it's going to be a busier draft than Nebraska's had in a while. I think 3 to 4 is probably a pretty safe range of guys that you're going to see drafted. Cam Jurgens for sure, Cam Taylor-Britt for sure, JoJo Domann and Austin Allen probably almost for sure. And then, outside of that, it'll be interesting. Damian Daniels was a guy who essentially bet on himself. He could have come back and been an easy, surefire starter for Nebraska on the line, and he decided to go pro. And so we'll see if that pays off for him. Probably more of an undrafted free agent type. Samori Toure was a guy who probably did boost his stock more than a lot of those guys. When you look at what he did in some of the exhibitions after the season, how he got some touchdowns and performed pretty well with some peers late in the season. So he's a guy that you'd look at maybe who could be a 7th round type guy based on what he did. But I think of the guys who probably will be drafted, it's such an interesting situation because everyone's talking about Cam Jurgens, and he's a good example, I think, of a guy whose stock has risen through all of the measurables and the testing that's done in the combine, just because he's such a physical freak. I mean, he has a vertical leap ability comparable to a lot of corners. And so I think he's opened some eyes with what he can do. And he's somebody that just, again, you look at the raw numbers, that's an awfully tempting pick at center. I think Cam Taylor-Britt is the guy, though, who maybe has like that specific skill that's the most established. Like if you look at Jurgens, you can say, hey, we can really develop him into something. JoJo Domann, don't really know how he's going to fit. I think Taylor-Britt's the guy that you have a lot of film on. You can look at him and how he defended guys like David Bell at Purdue or some of the other top receivers in the Big Ten, and he held his own and then some. And so I think maybe he has the highest ceiling. And then I would say Domann probably has the highest floor, just because he doesn't have that one thing that he does great, but he's so versatile and where he can play. You would think at the very least he's going to be a guy who will be an impact special teams guy or a specialty package guy in a defense as well. So there's just so many ways for him to catch on too. So it should be, again, after such a handful of quiet drafts for Nebraska the last handful of years, this should be a busier one for Huskers.
Hey, real quick, Evan, I as you talked about Samori Toure, I could see him being in that maybe 250 range to 350 range, possibly. But where would you see him starting off? I mean, he has, the second highest per catch average in Nebraska history at 19.5. Didn't have a whole bunch of them, but still almost ended up with 1,000 yards at 898, 900 yards and 5 touchdowns. Would you see him on the outside or probably more so in the slot, being that he only ran about a 4.8 40-yard dash? But he's got good quick feet, and his 10-yard was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know that he has that top end straight line speed that you probably need to push back a defense or get over the top on the outside. We saw him, I think he had a lot of success as a slot guy in his 1 year at Nebraska, just with being a crisp route runner. I think that's probably more his strength than just blowing by a guy, on the outer edge. He's an interesting one, though, too, because you think about Stanley Morgan even a handful of years ago, set all those records at Nebraska, was a dominant receiver, similar to what Toure did. I think, Morgan's probably a little bit better of a player, but he wasn't drafted, and he had to reinvent himself with the Cincinnati Bengals and become more of a special teams guy. He got into a little bit of the offense here just this last year, but he's a guy who had to reinvent himself. I wonder if Toure is a similar type of projection where if you're a team, you'd love to have him in occasionally as a receiver, but maybe he's a special teams guy too. Maybe he contributes in other ways. And it's just a different animal in the NFL, man. Like unless you're really good at one thing, like those roster spots are really valuable. They're a lot more valuable than they are even in college. And so you have to be good at a lot of different stuff to prove your worth at that level. And so I can't help but think maybe his path is going to be similar to Stanley Morgan's, where he'll do a little bit of pass catching, but he might have to learn some other things, whether that's tackling or other things on special teams as well.
Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald, joining us. Evan, a big thing that we talk about on the show is development. And it looks like recently it hasn't been great at Nebraska. I mean, you look since 2017, you had one player drafted in 2017, one in 2018, none in 2019, and then two in 2020, 2021. Do you think this is maybe an indication that player development is getting better, or that these guys just stick out more than any other guy in years past?
Well, yeah, I think it's getting a little better. I mean, you can look at all these players that we're talking about getting drafted, and I think all of them are positive developmental stories for Nebraska. I mean, Juergens was a tight end in high school, and he was identified by Nebraska coaches as someone who could succeed on the offensive line, and they were right in that assessment. Cam Taylor-Britt was a high school quarterback in Alabama, and they liked what he did more on the defensive side than what he was as a quarterback. And so Travis Fisher developed him, and he, again, became a guy who could hang with some of the best receivers in the Big Ten his last couple of seasons. Austin Allen came in. He was a guy who I think a lot of people thought could have been a better college basketball player than he was a college football player. And he built up his strength. He steadily got better every year under Sean Beckton. And he had a great season too. And then Doman, you think about him, he was at Nebraska long enough to be here under the previous staff, and he didn't necessarily have a place under the current regime right away. He had to prove himself. He didn't get a black shirt right away, and then he settled in, and they sort of adjusted what they do on defense a little bit more to his skill set and what he can bring as a nickel. So I think all of those guys certainly improved. Damian Daniels is another example, someone who didn't have maybe the stamina or the strength early on. He developed into a strong contributor on that D-line. Ben Stille, same sort of deal. So yeah, I think that's sort of the positive side of it. Now you can argue on the other end and say, if these guys were so good, then how did Nebraska win 3 games? How did that happen? And so that's maybe a different discussion with just being so close and not coming through and some of the schematic things. But I think in terms of some of these individual players, certainly in this class, you can make a case for every single guy that they got better at Nebraska, and they're going to be drafted on the strength of what they did as Huskers.
Evan Bland joining us, Omaha World Herald. Evan, I want to switch over more towards the recruiting side. O'Shawn Mathis, he's deciding between Texas and Nebraska. He's making documentaries and putting them on YouTube. We can have our own opinions on that, but that put aside, he tweeted out today wanting some love from Longhorn Nation, some love from Nebraska, Go Big Red. Where do you envision O'Shawn Mathis going? And with the recent departure of Casey Rogers, how important is it now to make sure you lock up a guy like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's obviously critical with where they are on the defensive line. I mean, you have Ty Robinson is the only experienced starter in that entire position group right now. And everybody else, you're talking about freshmen, maybe redshirt freshmen, sophomores, guys who you would have to really ask to take a major step up from what they had. So yeah, absolutely. O'Shawn Mathis would be a major addition in stopping the run, but even more so rushing the passer, which is something Nebraska hasn't had with any real consistency since, Randy Gregory 7 years ago. So it would be a major add. It's interesting that it's down to Texas and Nebraska. I mean, if you know his story, he played high school ball in Manor, Texas, which is a suburb of Austin. He was not offered by the Longhorns out of high school, and that chapped him at the time. I've talked with some of his family, and that it didn't sit well with him. And so really the primary reason, in my understanding, that he's considering Texas is because his former coach at TCU, Gary Patterson, is over now in that program. And so in some ways, it's not even so much Texas versus Nebraska as it is Gary Patterson versus Nebraska. And certainly I think the Huskers put their best foot forward with how they rolled out the red carpet for him at the spring game and his family. There's an obvious need there. And, if you listen to guys like Casey Thompson, the NIL opportunities are better at Nebraska than they are at Texas too. So I think all of that sort of plays a factor. Mathis doesn't do a lot of interviews other than maybe what he put out in his documentary, but by all reports, he's a guy who has done his research, has really kind of dove deep into the details of this thing. And so it feels like Nebraska checks off those boxes. You never know how these things go, especially in the portal when so much of it is behind the scenes. But I feel like Nebraska's got as good a chance as anyone when he makes this announcement on Saturday.
Nebraska baseball defeats Kansas State 8-6. Is this the beginning of the turnaround?
Well, maybe. UNO tonight. That's a good team. I think this next handful of games will be a test for the offense, and that's been the thing holding the baseball team back all year. Has been can they score runs? Can they get on base? Can they get a clutch hit? And a lot of that has been, the answers to those questions have been no. UNO though has a good staff, and then you talk about Iowa coming in this weekend. They have one of the better staffs in the conference and in the country. So I think it'll be a good early test, or not early test, but a good sort of newer test about whether that offense has turned a corner. And if it has, I think the pitching side of it is good enough that Nebraska can make some noise in that Big Ten tournament. But if Iowa has their way and pulls off a sweep and Nebraska looks benign on the offensive side again, then you're talking about a real uphill battle with just a handful of series left before the Big Ten tournament in the postseason.
Evan, we appreciate you. Where can people get more great content from you?
Omaha.com and the Omaha World Herald. I tweet my stuff out at Evan Bland OWH. And, you talk about it being the off season. There really is no such thing. There's always something going on. So we appreciate anyone that reads or follows along.
Awesome, Evan. Have a great rest of your week, sir.
Hey, thank you.
There he goes. Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald. Great content. Giving us some updates on Husker football and a little bit of Husker baseball, too. Who knows? Maybe this is the start of the turnaround. We got Shootout with Strick coming up, 402-464-5685. That is the Honda of Lincoln hotline number. Strick trying to get back on his winning ways after dropping yesterday's matchup. So who knows?
That's a buzzer.
He did. That's right. Will Strick get back to his winning ways, or will you defeat him for the chicken? $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line. All you have to do is call us 402-464-5685. Shootout with Strick coming up next on the block. 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Winds will still be rather breezy today from the south, gusting over 25, but we should top out near 80 with increasing cloud cover this afternoon. We'll see a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms late tonight towards tomorrow morning, a low 58. That lingering chance of showers and storms tomorrow, cooler with a high of 72. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
faculty and staff at Wilbur Claytonia School District reminds us that most folks have enough sense to hold a child's hand while crossing a busy street. But the internet is an information superhighway, and unfortunately, it's replete with predators and cyberbullies. Make sure your youngster is neither a victim nor victimizer, whether chat rooms, social media, emails, and also text messages. Be sure technology is an aid to their education, not a threat. The faculty and staff at Wilbur Claytonia School District working tirelessly for student and family safety. Our academic calendar is online at wilburclaytonia.org. Call 402-821-2266.
Brats, check. Chips, check. Tickets. I love tailgating, but this year I actually wanted to be in the stadium. Season tickets just weren't in my budget. Then I found a way. A research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and bought those season tickets. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's Favorites.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
You know what that means. It is time to play the game. 402-464-5685. That's the number. All you got to do is call. Face off against the Nebraska Hall of Famer Eric Strickland. And if you beat him in trivia, you will get $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Strick, your win streak came to an end yesterday. Do you have your confidence? Do you have your swag? Do you have your charisma back today?
I mean, I feel good. Listen, I basically got Ja Morant it. The only problem is I didn't play bad defense like they did in that specific instance. But yeah, I got Ja Morant at the buzzer, and you sometimes you can take that. I'd much rather have him take the jumper than have him lay it up. But hey, it is what it is.
Hey, you never know, right? Well, Preston is our challenger today. Preston, how much do you know about the Huskers getting drafted?
A little bit.
All right,
not much.
Well,
Strickland might have on this one a little bit, but hey, it's worth it.
Well, thanks for playing. We thank you for coming on and playing the game.
Strick got a little bit excited right there. I know that. He's I'm assuming he knows the Huskers getting drafted pretty well.
Listen, I know a few, but I was a little nervous. I thought he was going to kill me on this one, but hey, we're gonna take the guess.
Time will tell. But Preston, as always, stay on the line because we need to make sure that Strick gets his points first. See how many that you have to get in order to defeat him. Again, Shootout with Strick. Play it every day, 4:45. Strick, are you ready?
Let's get it.
All right, let's do it. Starting in 3, 2, and 1. Who drafted Rex Burkhead? Cincinnati Bengals or Houston Texans?
Houston Texans.
It was actually the Cincinnati Bengals. Who drafted Quincy Enunwa? New York Jets or Washington Redskins?
Jets.
That is correct. Who drafted Vincent Valentine? New England Patriots or Detroit Lions?
Lions.
It was actually the Patriots. Who drafted Kenny Bell? Tampa Bay Bucks or New York Jets?
Bucks.
That is correct. And what Husker was drafted with the 58th overall pick in the 2012 NFL Draft?
Ndamukong Suh.
Is that your final answer? I guess it has to be your final answer. Strick! It was Levante David.
Dang it.
Levante David. Ndamukong Suh, I believe it was the second overall pick.
Oh, he was 58.
pick.
Think,
Yes.
Strick, think.
So all right. So how many points do you think you got there?
I should have known that. I
How
only
many-
got 2.
All right, 2. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I was getting attacked yesterday. I was trying to take away your points. Preston, does this make you feel better or worse that he got 2 points?
Maybe a little better.
All right. Well, I believe in you. Let's see what you got. Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
All right. We will start in 3, 2, and 1. Who drafted Andy Janovich? Cincinnati Bengals or Denver Broncos?
Denver Broncos.
That is correct. Who drafted Brendan Hymus? Los Angeles Chargers or Dallas Cowboys?
Was it Cowboys?
It was actually the Chargers. Who drafted Alex Henry? New York Giants or Philadelphia Eagles?
Philadelphia Eagles.
That is correct. Who drafted Nate Gary? Philadelphia Eagles or San Francisco 49ers?
Philadelphia Eagles.
That is correct. And what Husker was selected in the second round, 58th overall in the 2015 NFL Draft?
Ugh. Oh, man, I'm too stumped on this one. Oh.
Can I steal?
Can you steal? All right. Well, I guess the button's out. So what is it? Do you know it's great?
Can I steal?
No. What is it?
A Mukamara.
No. Come on. Do you know, Preston? It's not a Mukamara.
Oh, Mukamara was first round. What was that?
What Husker was selected in the second round,
55th
overall in the 2015 NFL Draft?
I'm not even positive on this one. This one was tough. I'm not even positive.
Mukamara's first round.
I'll possibly say Rex Burkhead, but I'll probably be wrong on that one.
No, it was a running back, though, so you're on the right track. Amir Abdullah.
Oh,
Amir Abdullah. But Preston, luckily, that did not matter because you still have defeated Strick at his own game, so you get one of these.
Give me a hell yeah. I said, give me a hell yeah.
And just for good measure, I'll make sure and give you one of these because I love the Boom Shakalaka. And as always, Preston, would you like to talk trash to Strick or take the high road?
I'll take the high road.
You're a great man. You know what? You're an awesome man. Good game. It was a pleasure
That's
playing
right.
with you, Preston. Thank
Good
you for joining
stuff,
us.
Preston. Make sure you stay on the line. Nickel, make sure you get your prize.
Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good one. There he goes. Preston Strick, that's 2.
That's
You're on a
2 in a
cold
row,
streak,
man. I get Bach back out here. I think you might have put a damper on my winning streak, man. Not
Hey,
giving me
listen.
my music.
Hey, listen, I don't make the questions anymore, so I just read the questions. now.
Oh,
And
that's
I'll
all
say
right.
this: I always get through. Bach's always at the last second talking gibberish, drunk on Thursday.
Listen, yes.
and he's messing everybody up.
Bach kills me on Thursday when he had too much of that wine. I mean,
Bach.
but he's
Hey,
slow, and then I'm at
he
the
is.
buzzer. I'm like, I have to scream it out real quick.
Screaming
crazy.
about whatever. Hey, he's a cheap date, so I guess it goes both ways, right? Screws you and shootout with
And
Strick, but
me.
at the same time, hey, he's getting a little drunk. It's Thirsty Thursday. It happens. But Thirsty Thursday, we will have that tomorrow. But again, that was shootout with Strick. $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Luckily for you, we play this every day. So Strick will be back tomorrow, and he plays for the people. So even if Strick does win, we make sure that we get out $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings for the people. Shootout with Strick. But make sure you stay with us. Again, a full-packed show for our second hour. You're listening to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket.
The faculty and staff at Wilbur Claytonia School District reminds us that most folks have enough sense to hold a child's hand while crossing a busy street. But the internet is an information superhighway, and unfortunately, it's replete with predators and cyberbullies. Make sure your youngster is neither a victim nor victimizing, whether chat rooms, social media, emails, and also text messages. Be sure technology is an aid to their education, not a threat. The faculty and staff at Wilbur Claytonia School District working tirelessly for student and family safety. Our academic calendar is online at wilburclaytonia.org. Call 402-821-2266.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Winds will still be rather breezy today from the south, gusting over 25, but we should top out near 80 with increasing cloud cover this afternoon. We'll see a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms late tonight towards tomorrow morning, a low 58. That lingering chance of showers and storms tomorrow, cooler with a high of 72. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. At Foundation Repair, we fix basements.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. Millard South Baseball defeated Lincoln East 14-10 to claim first place in the Spartan Invitational. Millard West Baseball defeated Elkhorn South 9-7 to win the Monarch Invitational. Lincoln Northeast Baseball defeated Columbus 15-13 as Northeast Cody Bruss hit for the cycle while going 5 for 5 at the plate. Elkhorn North Baseball defeated Lincoln North Star 5-0 as Ryan Harrell earned a win on the mound behind 9 strikeouts. Waverly Girls Soccer defeated Aurora 2-0 behind goals from Peyton Osenkopf and Olivia Hine. Waverly Boys Track and Field won the York Classic, where Shear from Waverly won the boys 100-meter dash and 200-meter dash with times of 10.83 seconds and 22.1 seconds respectively. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Maximize your savings with Bryant. Bryant offers efficient heating and cooling system options to help you save on your monthly utility bill. If you act now, their team will secure all available rebates to maximize your savings. Hurry, these rebates are for a limited time only. Call Bryant. Ask for a free estimate to save and improve your comfort. 467-1111. Online at BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Junior, hurry it up in there. Honey, he's doing it again.
Doing what again?
Practicing for American Idol in the shower. I need in there.
Well, MemberZone is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We could use the value of the house to
Add a second bathroom? Say no more.
From adding another shower to all of life's in-betweens, you're headed in the right direction with a MemberZone home equity line of credit. Learn more at memberzonecu.org. Restrictions may apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Ortega connoisseur, Jake Bakoven.
I like Ortega, and I like pepper.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bob. Hold up.
Welcome back on the block. Is E Strick here? I'm here with my partner, not Jake Bakoven, but my partner of the day, Nate. Nate Doggy Dog has joined us on the block, and we are going to basically talk a little bit now about the Hitting the Hardwood segment of our show. Because it's the NBA playoffs right now, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And there were some wild and crazy games that happened on last night. One to the detriment of a team that got ousted and they're gone fishing. Another a detriment that took them down 3-2 when they thought they were going up 3-2, about to go home. But we'll start off by talking a little bit. How do you see the playoffs this year? How do you value and rank it? Or, you know, have you enjoyed it at this point, Nate? What do you think about how the playoffs is going so far?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it on the Western Conference side. The East has been a little bit more chalk, a little bit more predictable, but I tell you what, Strick, I felt really good there for a second about my Timberwolves pick. I said Timberwolves in 6. They were on the verge of winning. Ja Morant does some Ja Morant things. They blow it. They collapse. Now they're going back to Minnesota. Again, I think if you're up 3-2 and you head back to Minnesota, it's a wrap. End it. Finish it. Unfortunately, here we are. But, yeah, I think the Western Conference has been a lot more exciting, a lot more fun. But the second round Eastern Conference, I think they might take the cake because that's when it's going to get really
tight. I mean, when you really look at it, though, right? The series that we're going to talk about first is the Memphis and the Minnesota series. That's now 3-2. The last 3 games, game 3, 4, and 5, have literally been by a total of 13 points.
Wow.
I mean, in 3 games. So game 3 ended. That was probably, you know, of the last 3 games, the most of them. They won by 9. And then the last one in game 4 was by 1 point, where Minnesota just pulls it out. And then Memphis returns the favor and pulls it out against the Minnesota team. And they win 111-103 on a tremendous roll with the left hand by Ja Morant. And he's probably got the dunk of the year that I saw.
Yeah.
Listen, there's so much I wanted to say about that, but all I could just say is, ooh-wee. He clapped it back and went to the heavens on him. I'm like, yo, this kid is a freak of nature and what he does and blocking shots and dunking on people and creating basketball cards on the backs of people that decide to take the challenge and meet him in the paint. But listen, the Wolves had probably the craziest sequence of plays that happened in that specific game where, you know, first of all, it started crazy run. We're going to talk about how dumb the Wolves are as far as their basketball play. We'll talk about that. But you're talking about back-to-back plays, Anthony Edwards in the corner when it looked like it was over, free throws, and then Ja Morant on the roll, and just Bane hitting one. It was just on a rebound, and it got them really back into the game because it looked like Minnesota was about to run away with it. Secured a rebound, kicks it out. Bane ends up knocking one down. Listen, that was a crazy sequence in the final minute and a half of that game that I thought just set me on fire. But, well, let me just say how you thought about it. What did you think about that crazy sequence of plays? Back to back, one after the other. You just didn't know who was going to be able to pull it out.
No, and my biggest question that I have with myself is this just an indication that the Timberwolves are a young team? They're not ready? Are they poorly coached? Do they just choke? because we saw it too, Strick, in, I believe it was game 3, or maybe it was game 3. The Timberwolves were up by 25 points on 2 separate occasions.
Yeah.
And in third quarter was one of them. Completely collapsed. Last night, they were up by 11 points. With, I believe it
and
was
13 at one point. Yes,
and
it was 6.
13.
It was, I think maybe 5, 13 with at least just about over 6.
And then you collapse again. So I don't know if this is an indication that they're just young. I don't think they're coached great. I know you have probably some better, more thoughtful analysis than that when it comes to coaching, because you played the game at the NBA level, but I don't really know how to interpret this. And if you're the Timberwolves, you got to be kicking yourself, right? I mean, you've had 2 separate.
This series should have been over, bro. Let's just be real about it. This series should have been over.
This should be over. And if you're the Grizzlies, you can't be very confident either, I don't think. And I heard Stephen A say this morning, he said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Grizzlies went to the Western Conference Finals. Really? I would be shocked the way that they've played recently. I don't know, man. I'm not confident in either of these teams right now. I don't really know how to interpret it. I'm curious your actual analysis behind the coaching, because from what I've seen as the fan, not great. But if someone that's played the game, do you think coaching is kind of that one thing that's really been holding them back?
I'm not going to really say coaching. I just think it's dumb basketball. I mean, it's the stuff that they're doing that is allowing them to be able to get back in the game. It's dumb basketball, meaning that they're taking terrible shots. I mean, they have the leads. That's when you go pound it. You've got Big Cat sitting outside still shooting threes. You've got him in foul trouble in one of the series games, and you're not attacking the rim. Then you're downhill attacking if you're Karl Anthony Towns, and you're literally just a charge waiting to happen. You make a little bit of adjustments, but at the end of the day, you're still making dumb basketball decisions. Anthony Edwards, they're taking kind of fall away step backs. All these Karl Anthony Towns in the last game tried to be Dirk Nowitzki. You that ain't in your game, my guy. Be solid, make the right plays, go downhill, get to the free throw line, close the game off, run solid plays, but then they get into, I'm going to make this 3 and I'm going to take a 12-point lead and make it 22. That don't work like that. And that's what they're trying to do. And so they're playing dumb basketball. As you alluded to, they had multiple 20-point leads in this game. Now, mind you, this game is a game of runs. The game is so fast. It happens so quick. That's a part of the game. You're going to have runs. That's where you see the difference between them, a young Minnesota team with a veteran in Patrick Beverly, and just a few others sprinkled in there, but mostly a young team that has never been in this position before. Then you have a Boston Celtics team that in 18 loses in a drastic way, similar to what Minnesota's doing right now to a LeBron James-led Cleveland Cavaliers team.
Yes,
in getting back into that, but they go to 7. They learn so much from that. So I'm not going to totally bash Minnesota in this instance, because they're going to learn from this. Right. If they lose this series or if they win, they better learn from it quick if they win, but they're going to learn from it tremendously if they lose. But here's the problem. Anthony Edwards makes the bozo move that you never do. You don't do this in high school. You don't do this in college. You don't do this in AAU Pee-wee. With that kind of time left on, listen, with the kind of time that was left on the clock, you can get from almost the 3-point line to the free throw line on a running start with the dribble to get to a pull-up jumper, right? So you definitely don't want to allow that man going for a steal. The steal does nothing from you. If he hits that shot, you shake his hand, you say, yo, man, you were the better man tonight. But if he doesn't, you win the game. But the percentages go way up on the behalf of Memphis Grizzlies when you let one of the most athletic players in the NBA of the day to have free reign at the rim with a guy who doesn't want to foul, and all he can do is challenge. Don't know if he's going to be a poster on that situation or if he's going to lay it up. He funk rolls it with the left. You lose the game at the buzzer. Dumbo move. That was one of the other ones. They're up 13, as I said, with 9:33 left in the game, and it falls apart. The other bad part where I say they're a dumb basketball team, I don't care who you are. This is in college and this is in high school. You cannot win games turning the ball over 23 times. Simple as that.
Right.
And that's where their debacle is, and that's why they find themselves right now down 3-2.
Now, do you think it's more of from the Anthony Edwards perspective? Because I knew you were going to bring that up, and I knew you were going to be upset with that. Do you think that's more of just him being a younger player and he doesn't know? Or do you think it's more just he's not thinking in the moment? Because I genuinely don't know what's going through his head, because you can ask anyone that just casually watches the game. It's like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here?
So here's where I think coaching's an issue, right? Because maybe not from the head coaching standpoint, but definitely from the assistants. Because this is what assistants would do in a situation when you have a young team like the Minnesota Timberwolves. You would get those type of guys, those young guys, because they're already falling apart. They've fallen apart in multiple series games.
Twice now, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like you can just rely on the fact that they're pros. Most instances, a seasoned pro would know that that's not the shot, or to foul, or to get up under him, or any of the things that a NBA ref would be looking for in that specific situation. You do not give them any instance to make a decision. You just put your hands up, you straight up, you give him space, and you give him a chance to fall and come down. If he kicks his feet, you know by rule it's going the other way, right? So there's the problem I see, is that coaches, the assistant coaches, should have definitely got with all of them as they finishing up the huddle before they walk out on the court. And you say, listen, whatever they do, it's a jumper. You're forcing them out. Mm-hmm. Do not give them straight line to the basket in any form or fashion. If he gets by you, the thing to do is let him go to the big man, and you go to the next play for the rebound or the missed shot. That's the things you would have a discussion with a young team about. They didn't have that discussion. It was a Dumbo move. It was a Dumbo play, and you're Dumbo down 3-2.
I want to mention, too, Karl Anthony Towns, because this is just kind of something that I've seen across the landscape of basketball is these 7-footers now, they want to shoot threes. Look, I understand Karl Anthony Towns, statistically, great three-point shooter, especially for
a three-point contest.
That's right. I mean, he can stretch the floor. Don't get me wrong. The guy can shoot. But in situations where you're up by 13 in the fourth quarter, I feel like you got to be able to pound the basketball and get it inside. I don't know if that's just the way that I was always kind of taught from a young age, and maybe it's just a generational thing too. And watching the early 2000s, I mean, if you have a player like Karl Anthony Towns, I don't know, let's say Shaquille O'Neal, you think I guarantee the Lakers, boom, you're up big in the fourth quarter, Shaq, get it into the paint. And it's just, especially Karl Anthony Towns is a good free throw shooter. I just don't understand the need to keep shooting three-pointers and being on the three-point line.
And they're one of their best defensive block guys and for Memphis is on the bench fouling out.
Exactly, right.
So even the more you're attacking him, even the more you're down there forcing double teams. You're down there forcing them to shrink the floor. You're down there creating opportunities on kick-outs, shot fakes, drive to the basket, next pass, corner, wide open. Mm-hmm. That's what you're getting into. Okay, if you're taking a wide open three as a professional, you should be knocking it down at a 7 to 10 wide open clip. You should be hitting 7 out of 10 of those wide open. Mm-hmm. That's what we did in practice. I mean, if we weren't hitting 7 to 8 of them in practice, we didn't leave the gym. So that's one of the things that they did not do. They did not work in that specific area. He started smelling himself. He hit a couple, and he decided he wanted to stay out there. Bad move. So I'm not going to harp on it. Do you have anything else to more talk about the Dumbo moves with the big ears, and he's flying all over the place, flapping his ears in the circus? That's what happened last night.
Hey, I'm just upset, Strick, because my hot take yesterday, you remember it, I said Minnesota in 6. I was feeling confident. I was watching the game last night. I said, you know what? Maybe I can come back and talk about how much of a genius I am picking Minnesota in 6. They let me down, so I'm a little bit upset with that.
Well, let's move on to the next one that I think was a quite interesting one. The reason being is that Chris Paul had one of the worst playoff games of his career, and he had a bounce-back game that helped Devin Booker on the bench-ish Phoenix Suns to pull out a great win against a tough New Orleans Pelicans team that was playing quite well at home in their building. They got the job done, and they did it in great fashion by beating the New Orleans Pelicans 112-97. How did you view that particular game, and how do you view the bounce back? Because he was frustrated. Grand Theft Alvarado had him quite frustrated, but he seemed to have it going on last night. Got into a good range, and his assist numbers were high.
Hey, Alvarado, ACC guy. Maybe I know you like that ACC action, but I didn't know if I really appreciated on Patrick Beverly, but better. Come on, man. Let's tone it down a little bit. But the biggest thing that I take away from this is you're the 1 seed. You're there for a reason. The Pelicans are 36-46 on the year. They're 17-24 on the road.
For a reason.
Come on. I mean, these are games that you have to win. And we talked about it yesterday. If you're the Phoenix Suns and you lose this game, series is done. This is a must-win game. I think moving forward, it's going to be really difficult without Devin Booker. CP3 showed up, man, but I don't know if – let me ask you this, Strick. I know there probably aren't many defenders in the NBA that are to Alvarado's level. I mean, he can play some serious defense, and he's a pest. And I don't know. He's younger, and that might help out. But is this figuring out Chris Paul and knowing how to get kind of under his skin, or is this just you have an elite defender that's kind of figured him out?
Well, I don't want to say figuring out, but here's the thing. Like us as veteran players in our age, we like to get into comfort. Right. So I remember a lot in my day, I was that kind of pesky guy like him, just a little bigger, just more on a physical aspect. A lot of players on back-to-backs, like you'd have a Baron Davis, or you'd have sometimes even Allen Iverson or guys like that. They'd come over to me and be like, Strick, man, I'm tired tonight, man. Come on, man. Just give me a little break. Because they know what I'm going to do. They know I'm going to be physical. They know I'm going to hound them. They know they're going to have to work. And so it's the same way that I looked at like having to guard Reggie Miller or having to guard Rip Hamilton, where I knew these cats were going to be running all night. So I was like, dang, I got to get my sleep. I got to eat my pasta. I got to make sure I get a good nap in because I'm going to be running all freaking night. That's Chris awesome. Paul wanted to get into a nice little, he just wants to get into a comfort. He doesn't want to have to expend a lot of energy. He wants to be able to take his time, get up, down court. That's when I used to hate guys like Karl Malone and all these guys when I'm pesking, doing the same thing to John Stockton, and these guys are setting me up and setting back picks. I'm surprised that they didn't do the same thing for him, basically setting him up and lay a good one on him, but have him looking around and making sure he ain't doing all that crazy stuff anymore. But nonetheless, I mean, Chris Paul finished up, had a great game, 22-11, bounced back from that subpar game. DeAndre Ayton showed up with 19 and 9. And then Bridges was phenomenal on the night as well. Yeah. They took advantage of timely turnovers and some issues that communication issues. Brandon Ingram still doing what he do, had a solid 22, and CJ McCollum, they had a great time, but they had a slow start. They got off to a slow start. So the Suns never trailed in this game, and they had 15 turnovers. So those things that you have to do on the road to be able to, secure it, and you can't have those issues on the road. You got to be real solid because that allows transition. And as you can see, they got a lot of dunks. Cameron Payne and got in the rhythm. Once they get the crowd into it, Cameron Johnson got a nice one-handed jam on a fast break. So a lot of those things allow the crowd into it. And as a road team, you got to take the crowd out of it. And they didn't do a good job of that last night. Therefore, coming up short, 112-97.
I got a couple questions, Strick. The first one I have for you, who laid the hardest pick on you? So it sounds like you were kind of that pesky guy. So who was really laying down the hammer with the picks?
Karl Malone. And I was so mad at my teammates that I almost got in a fight on the floor.
Really?
I almost looked like they did today because I'm up there pressuring, and I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was AC Green or if it was Dirk or Sean Brown. I can't remember who it was, but I'm telling you, I was pressuring, hounding him, and he set me up so good. And Karl put a shoulder into me, dang near shattered my collarbone. And that wasn't good. And I was not happy about it when I went to the bench. I let him know too.
Let me ask you this too. I feel like you wouldn't be too happy. Bridges in the 15-point win plays 47 minutes. Is that going to have any type of impact later on in the playoffs?
No, they have to do that. You have to be able to fill that void for Booker. They did that last night. I would say as you get later, those depth issues begin to wear on you because he's not a very big, strong, physical guy. So that wear and tear overly over time. But he's young, so those kids can run forever, in the early years of their contract. So
You got it.
That's the part that's the part. But as we finish up on the segment before we take a break, we want to talk about the Atlanta Hawks. And the Atlanta Hawks basically were running. They were doing good. They looked like they were going to be able to pull it out. And then all of a sudden, they fall apart. And again, as we talked about here on the block, Trae Young was not able to lead them through.
Yep.
The doggone Miami Heat was missing Kyle Lowry and one of their best players in Jimmy Butler. But the difference between this Miami Heat team is that they play defense, and the defense showed up, got the job done, shut Trae Young down. Victor Oladipo filled in the gap, had 23. Bam Adebayo went nuts for 20 and 11. That gave them the strength they needed to overcome whatever strength that the Atlanta Hawks was bringing to this game. And at the end of the day, they came up short. They had good balance. Tyler Hero had 16. Max Strauss had 15. Caleb Martin added just a little balance as well with 10. So they had great balance with the absence of Butler and Lowry. And that's where it was. Young, again, 2 for 12 from the floor, just 11 points. But DeAndre Hunter ended up going nuts for 35, which even kept them in this game. But the leader of their team did not get the job done.
There you go, Strick, getting me going. DeAndre Hunter, another ACC guy. The other thing that really stands out to me, and I want to get your thoughts on this. We've talked about this. It's the NBA playoffs, man. Like I understand Jimmy Butler's been beat up this season, didn't play 82 games to begin with. It was a wrap. They won even without Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler. But it's the playoffs. Like
a closeout game.
Blows my mind. And I know that's the NBA, and I know that they're deep. They proved that they're probably one of the deepest teams in the NBA, if not the deepest team in the NBA, by able to win this game. But you're supposed to be the franchise player, and you're sitting out of a closeout playoff game. I don't care who you're playing against. It just blows my mind. And if you're playing 82 games during the season and you're beat up, sure, maybe that's one thing. He played 57 games this season.
Part.
And
Michael Jordan, and then you say Michael
man.
Jordan is not the greatest. The man played 82. Crazy. Listen, he would play with broken hands, torn up ankles, all kinds of issues.
He played with the flu.
He was not sitting out of a freaking game. Right. So I don't even want to dig into that one. It's soft. S-O-F-T, soft, Cottonelle soft. The kind that you use when you go upstairs and you sit in the bathroom with the magazine. That's the kind of softness I see in them. Even myself, when I didn't play at my best, I had a second-degree ankle sprain. I was still out there trying to give what I could to my team to see. It probably hurt me a little bit doing that, but at the end of the day, I still was trying to give it with a dislocated thumb, all of that. So.
Is that just the NBA these days? Because I think about it from a fan perspective too. I know this is a little bit different, but if I'm paying $100 to see LeBron James and LeBron James decides he wants to load manage that day, I'm mad. Like I am livid, and I feel like that happens so many times, and it's just, I guess, the nature of the NBA these days.
It is part of the way it is, and I don't like it, but hey, it is the way it is. I think they may address that in the new CBA that comes up. They may say there may be some, docking of pay if you're not really injured and you sitting out, and then they're going to start trying to it's going to be a game of cat and mouse in that specific. Right. I'm hurt today. Yeah, right.
Okay, are you sure about that? Right.
Yeah. Philly, Toronto. They play on Thursday at 7 p.m. We have Boston chilling at the crib. Eating on donuts and popcorn, watching the series go down. And then you've got Milwaukee that's going to jump off tonight against Chicago in a potential closeout game. 7:30, they start on TNT. I will be checking that one out. Going over onto the other side on Thursday as well, Utah and Dallas is looking for a closeout game where Dallas leads 3-2 in that series. We don't see another one from Memphis and Minnesota until Sunday. Woo, big break there. Actually, no, I'm tripping. Friday, they get it going on ESPN. We do not know the time on that one yet. And Golden State will be the other game that pops off tonight at 10 o'clock on TNT. They're looking to close that series out as well. But we've got to take a break right now on the block. 93.7 The Ticket FM. Thank you for joining as well. We'll be right back. And we'll talk a little bit about the college football back half of the top 10 And we'll be back right here on the block after these messages.
Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Let's go ahead and head right to the phone lines. Bob, what's up?
Hey, I'm here at the ballpark.
How are the elements? Is it nice outside?
Oh, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Wind's out of the north. It's not too windy. When I first got here, about a half hour ago. Yeah, okay. Strike 2, yeah! Strike 2! Put it down there, Steve! I'm sorry.
It's okay. I love it. Thank you, Bob. Bob, we're going to let you go, Bob.
All right. I'll be here.
Weekdays from 2 to 3 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. At Foundation Repair, we fix basements.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Winds will still be rather breezy today from the south, gusting over 25, but we should top out near 80 with increasing cloud cover this afternoon. See a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms late tonight towards tomorrow morning, a low 58. That lingering chance of showers and storms tomorrow, cooler with a high of 72. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Husker fans, your Nebraska softball team is competing for the 2022 Big Ten regular season title. There are 3 more chances to support your Huskers at home during Fan Appreciation Weekend, May 6th through the 8th. The team hosts Indiana in a 3-game series with giveaways each day. For more information on promotions, visit Huskers.com. Get your single-game tickets now at Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for His Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. We're back on the block. Woo! That was something to get through right there on that last segment, man. My goodness, it was. I don't know. Did I get riled up? Did I get kind of hype?
Hey,
My
listen.
goodness.
If there's anyone that should get riled up about this, it's you, Strick.
Hey, listen, you were glad you didn't see me last season sitting in there in the studio when I was watching Nebraska games last season. When you saw me on the stream, I looked kind of calm, but boy, the stuff I wanted to tear up in that room, I'm surprised we still got equipment in there. But nonetheless, we got through yesterday's segment talking about only 1 through 5. I mean, I think we ended up coming out with a good balance. We're pretty close on some of our choices. Definitely our 1 and 2 with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I mean, we were definitely on that point, and we finished up pretty close at 5 with Caleb Williams. But now we're going to move to the back half of the group. I mean, there's a couple of ACC guys. You got happy about that. You were all excited about that.
I love my ACC guys.
Virginia Tech and all these boom guys.
I don't know those.
You were
ACC
real happy
guys.
about Miami. You were real happy about Tyler Van Dyke and his potential for this
He's
year.
gonna be
What
good,
Miami
man. I'm telling you, Heisman candidate.
Yeah. Well, tell me what you think about the second half, and I'll let you start this time.
Well, if we're going number 6, Strick, you'll love this one. Not an ACC guy, but a former ACC guy, and at that, a former Hokie. I got Hendon Hooker at number 6, transfer from Virginia Tech.
I think that's a bias. I think that's a biased pick at number 6, personally. But go ahead.
Listen, all I know is, shocker, Justin Fuente, he finds a way to run him out of town. And then Hooker ends up being one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. His backup, Quincy Patterson, wins a national championship at North Dakota State. That's why, bye-bye, Justin Fuente, you're done. But Hendon Hooker started 15 of 25 games at Virginia Tech, 2,900 yards, 22 touchdowns, 7 picks. He transfers, takes over the starting job, 3,000 yards passing, 31 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions in the gauntlet that is the SEC and the Music City Bowl. When it matters, everyone's sitting in these bowl games. Not Hendon Hooker. 378 yards and 5 touchdowns. I've got him at number 6.
Well, you're going to be mad at me when I tell you where I got him because but we're going to move on from
Yeah, I'm in the top 10, though, right?
He's in the top 10. He's in there. He's definitely in my top 10.
All right.
But you're going to be surprised at this one for me. I'm going to go with Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
This young man, I think in the group of 5 that he beat out in the race for the automatic bid for New Year's 6 bowl slate. I was excited about that for this young man. And, if he stays healthy, and it is a priority for him, he only missed 2 games last season, including 1 in 2 of his losses. And so his production for me is tremendously high. He's got a high scale, he's very maneuverable. I like his maneuverability, and I like his abilities to hit the mark and be on target, because he finished with the best single season efficiency rate in FBS history.
Wow.
At 207.7. That's where I think I like this young man in what he's able to bring. He averaged at least 10.5 yards per throw. So that means he's getting that ball downfield. And that's what I like. I like the arm. I like his ability to read and coverage and make decisions and get that ball downfield with accuracy.
I've definitely got him in my top 10, Strick. I got him a little bit lower. The whole group of 5 thing just worries me. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Cincinnati in the playoff. I don't know if that's controversial anymore. I don't think a group of 5 school should ever be in the playoff, but that's a different discussion for a different day. So that's why I have him a little bit lower, but great player. And actually, Strick, to add to that, he had the highest passing grade in FBS, 93.2. So
there you go.
I've got him later on. Don't worry, he's in my top 10. But at 7, I got Dylan Gabriel, UCF transfer. Did get hurt last season. But before that, in 2020, he had 3,600 yards, 32 touchdowns, and only 4 picks. He chose UCLA. This is interesting. I forgot about this, to be honest with you. He chose UCLA, and then 3 weeks later decided he was going to transfer to Oklahoma. Lots of questions at Oklahoma. The fans are buying Venables. The fans are buying Dylan Gabriel. Had the most fans at a spring game in the entire country. So I think it'll help him that he has the fan base behind him. But the thing is with Dylan Gabriel, the only reason I don't have him higher, honestly, I think he's one of the most talented players in college football. There's a lot more pressure playing for Oklahoma than UCF. A lot more pressure. So we'll see how he handles that. But the fans are buying him. Venables, defensive guy. We'll see how that meshes. But I got Dylan Gabriel at 7.
At my 7, I got Devin Leary of North Carolina State. And the reason I've got Devin at number 7 is that this team, North Carolina State, is just creeping, soaring, flying up the preseason top 25 list.
Right.
And I think they may be one of the biggest threats in the ACC to knock off Clemson. I really do. Yeah. I think he was overshadowed last year, with the performance of Hartman and the former Pittsburgh quarterback and Kenny Pickett, whom our guy loves very much, that we got down here from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Mark Whipple.
Whipple freaking loves Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, we're going to see how he goes tomorrow as well. But so he earned honorable mention conference, honors there after throwing 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I think he has a better team this year. And with having a better team and better pieces surrounding him, I think he's going to sit on the periphery of the Heisman race. I'm going to say he's going to kind of find himself maybe in that 4 or 5 range in the Heisman race if he gets the job done. 7.
Yeah, interesting. I've got him at 8, so we can go right into it. For all the reasons you said, honorable mention all ACC. Only threw 5 picks last year, but the one note that I have here, which is really interesting, is that all the quarterbacks that we're mentioning outside of Tyler Van Dyke, so Sam Hartman and Devin Leary now, and whoever Clemson's quarterback is, because Clemson's going to be a well-oiled machine. They'll be back. These are all Atlantic teams. So Devin Leary, that's kind of the issue he runs into. Your honorable mention, all ACC, but Sam Hartman's going to be there again in the Atlantic. You would assume that he's probably going to be the best quarterback there. And trust me, whoever Clemson throws out there is going to be a beast, probably going to be a 5-star. So that's the only issue that he runs into, but I'm very curious to see. So you think he's on the outside of the Heisman race?
He's my dark horse. He's my dark horse.
Darker? Yeah, you might want to throw a little bit of cash on that, Strick. You might have a pretty good return on that. That's what I'll say about that. But yeah, I've got him at 8.
All right, my 8 is going to be not a surprise, but it may be a surprise to you, but it's going to be Jake Haener out of Fresno State. I've got Haener there because he's going to stay, he jumped into the portal a little bit. He tried to find out, take a sniff, take a peek, look over the mill, get out the binoculars and see what was going on out there in the transfer portal back in December. But rather than, bolting and hitting the highway with Kalen DeBoer up to Washington, he decided to stay. And in staying, he's reconnecting with his former and now current Fresno State coach, Jeff Tedford. So and the good thing about that is that they're familiar with each other, right? Because Tedford is the guy that recruited Haener to the program. So there's some comfort there. There's some familiarity there. And I like Tedford's track record with the quarterback position. Haener has the potential with the way that he handles the quarterback with poise, good strong arm. He may be able to land in the first round with this high quality quarterback class that they have this year, maybe late in the first round in the next year's draft for me.
Don't get too mad at me, Strick. I don't even have him in my top 10. I'm telling you, those group of 5s, I'm a hater. I'll be the first to say it. Don't attack me, text line, but these group of 5 guys, I'm just not buying it. Look at Zach Wilson with the Jets. He's trash. He's not very good. It's just how it is. I'm telling you, these group of 5 guys, the Power 5 level, completely different ball game. I don't even.
You fighting Derek Carr? You fighting Carr?
Hey, trust me, there are some guys in there. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Some enigmas, but I think for the most part, you got to roll with the Power 5 guys. I don't know. It's just a little bit biased, I guess, but I don't know. Also, I want to make
Shoot
sure
9 and 10 real quick for yours before we take a break, so we can.
I also want to make sure we get to this text too. Someone says,
"Oh yeah,
cheering on the Celtics." So
who?
The Celtics.
Who's cheering on the Celtics?
You cheering on the Celtics?
I am cheering on the Celtics.
Hey, there you go. No,
I always listen. I roll. This is the way I do it. I roll. We're not going to be able to dig into the 9 and 10. We'll probably just tell them and give a little brief. But I support the teams to which I played. So you're going to see me support Indiana. You're going to see me support Boston. You're going to see me support Milwaukee. You're going to see me support Dallas. Even though I played for the Grizzlies. that was my worst freaking experience. So I don't know about that. But then it goes to where I had the best experience. So the Celtics and Mavericks is 1A, 1B. So they're the ones I'm rooting for to get there at the end. Right. There you go.
Also, Texter says, "You're a clown, Josh Allen. I knew this was going to happen." Hey, that's one guy. Look at the landscape of the NFL. Most quarterbacks coming from the Power 5 level. That's all I'll say. Again, there are enigmas. There are quarterbacks out there that come from the group of 5. I'm not saying all of them. But more often than not, give me that Power 5 guy. Running real quick, Grayson McCall, for everything you said, the only other note that I have is he connected on 19 deep passes, which means that's 20 yards or more, for 605 yards, 8 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So he can't throw the deep ball. And he's a group of 5 guy. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. So I have him at 9. And at number 10, strictly because he was such a highly touted recruit, he was the projected number 1 overall pick going into last season. I have Spencer Rattler, but he is a clown. I don't know if you saw QB1 on Netflix, Strick. Not a guy that you want to be on your team. Also, I have this note. On November 5th, 2021, Rattler's personal quarterback coach, not a guy that coaches at Oklahoma, not a guy that coaches at South Carolina, his personal quarterback coach announced that Rattler would be leaving Oklahoma University at the end of his sophomore season. Kid's head case. I want nothing to do with him. The only reason I have him on this list is because he was that high and he plays for Shane Beamer, and I got to support the Beamers.
I already knew you was Homer. We're going to leave that one alone. Hendon Hooker, a lot of what you said, second best in the conference, finished 3rd nationally in efficient rating. Love him. Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma. Love everything about him. Obviously, the part that gives me a little, hesitation is the, Central Florida thing.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And there's a lot higher expectations in Oklahoma.
And better competition.
Yep, you got that right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh, we're going to head out of here for right now. We'll be back. We'll have a brief discussion about the question, is he a prima donna or is it just situation and circumstance? Deshaun Watson situation's heating up. We'll talk briefly about that when we come back on the block right here at 93.7, the ticketfm.com.
Maximize your savings with Bryant. Bryant offers.
Long the subject of jokes, ridicule, derision, but did the fruitcake accept its place in the culinary totem pole? No! The fruitcake sought to rise to its full potential at Beatrice Bakery. Premium nuts, high-quality fruits, and the delectable trio of brandy, bourbon, and rum. Grandma's fruitcake is no punchline, but a decadent treat that packs a punch of flavor.
Check out Grandma's Fruitcake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Hey, sports fans, Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dan has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstorats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Find great deals now on new Rams, Jeeps, and more during Ram Truck Month and the Jeep Celebration event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our entire inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles anytime. At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it. A research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're going to get into this real quick. We're going to get into some, what do you want to hear first? The good news or the bad news?
I always say bad news first.
Bad news first. Cleveland Browns, who made a historic decision in basically taking on Deshaun Watson, paying him the big bag, then kind of making Baker Mayfield your starting quarterback mad and wants to get out of town. And now you find yourself possibly in some conflict situations. Attorneys are basically calling. Remember, now he has not been cited criminally. This is for civil.
Right.
So now attorneys is calling for depositions, and his attorneys is basically saying there's still two people that have not done depositions on their side, and he doesn't want to put himself on the record without them going on oath. So there's a combat fight back and forth. Is this a prima donna move, basically saying, hey, I'm a football player, I'm the top quarterback, I play, he said it's his job situation that's causing the problem that he's not able to come? Or is this just a situation that's the Browns are going to have to deal with?
This is just an absolute nightmare situation for all sides, right? I mean, if you're Deshaun Watson, you think you kind of get off scotch-free. Obviously, the NFL hasn't given their ruling yet. They haven't made their decision. I'm assuming no matter what the final conclusion is, the NFL will strike down and have some type of punishment towards him. But then if you look towards the Cleveland Browns, you kind of saw it that way too, and you're giving this guy the bag. I mean, you're giving him a lot of money, and in the process, you have a quarterback who not only has performed well enough to lead you to the playoffs, but is a guy that actually wants to be in Cleveland, which is
was injured, playing injured.
Right. So cares enough about the franchise, cares enough about the city to play through an injury, do everything he can to win. And this has always been my problem with the Cleveland Browns, Strick. And I understand Deshaun Watson, generational talent. Again, we're not sure if he's going to be able to play or not. Let's not act like the Cleveland Browns are this well-run franchise by any stretch of the imagination. You're just a few years removed from going defeated, not undefeated, defeated. You did not win a single game. You have gone through dozens of quarterbacks since you went to a playoff game before Baker Mayfield. Do you really want to go down that rabbit hole again? I think Baker Mayfield was done dirty. I think he deserves a lot better, and I hope he lands on his feet.
Sad story, good story. Demaryius Thomas was he died on December 2021 at the age of 33. He announced his retirement in June of 2021. He was about to go into the dawn of the era of his retirement years of playing football after all the work that he's put in. He was a great story for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming out of Georgia Tech. Good story about it is he was a first round pick in 2010 out of Georgia Tech. He recorded the second most receiving yards for the Denver Broncos franchise. But now former teammate Peyton Manning steps up in memory of the late Broncos wide receiver and basically announces a scholarship endowment with Georgia Tech in Thomas's name. I think that's a phenomenal story. We wanted to reference that on the block. I think he deserves the honor, and it's awesome that Peyton and Georgia Tech are stepping up and doing that on the behalf of his wonderful name.
Yeah, no, it's amazing that we have athletes. I mean, this is what people don't realize, and you can probably speak on this too, Strick, is that there's life outside of sports. There's life outside of the game of football. I mean, these guys have lives. They have real emotions, and for Peyton Manning to give back like this, I love it too. I mean, it's just a terrible story, terrible situation, but Peyton and Georgia Tech is trying to make the best out of it.
All right. Thank you again for joining us on the block. We got to end it there. We're up against time. But who's following us up today?
It's Priscilla and Rico.
Priscilla and Rico are going to be on today. Hey, stay tuned. Listen, it's always some great segments right here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. You can also follow us on all streaming platforms. We will be back right here tomorrow. It is Friday. The weekend has arrived. We're looking for Thursday. It is Thursday. Look at me jumping ahead. I got to get on a plane. I'll be there tomorrow in studio. I look forward to getting back to Nebraska. I'm hoping the weather is cooperative with me when I get there. But any other news we got before we head out of here?
No, it's going to be Bach, though, so I appreciate you letting me step in, Strick. I've had a blast. Hopefully I can step in here a couple more times.
Man, we welcome you back on the block anytime, man. Thanks for being my partner for this good week. I truly enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. We love you guys. GBR. Thank you all to our sponsors, the Mercado, as well as Sutter Heyman and Honda Lincoln Hotline. We appreciate you. We will see you mañana, 4 to 6 right here, Central Standard Time. Peace. We out on the block.
See you. Offensively and defensively for one guy to make a mistake, whether it's being out of your gap, forgetting the blitz, forgetting a check on offense, forgetting the snap count. In college, it might be explosive play, 15 yards, whatever you deem as explosive play. The pros?
All of them are house.
All of them are